This is Channel 2 News, reporting on Armageddon. Today, the Archangel Gabriel blew his trumpet and unfurled the sixth seal. Written upon the scroll, as if gilded in blood, inscribed, "All hydrogen bonding will be sufficiently weakened to change the chemistry of the universe." This is Channel 2 News on day 2 of the sixth seal. Water as popular solvent has been eliminated from academic and commercial chemical practices. Water's use as a polar solvent was dependent on the bent dipolar structure which lent itself to hydrogen bonding and effectively encircling all polar functional groups on organic molecules. Now that hydrogen bonding has stopped, the scientific community has been forced to use harsher methods, such as acetone and DMSO, though a question has arisen amongst those who have lived their whole lives questioning the natural order of the world. Does this heavenly representative Gabriel take away all dipolar interaction? Or has this God circumvented the very process of hydrogen bonding itself? Is there any salvation for polar molecules? Or have other non-hydrogen related dipoles continued to exist? This news anchor believes that at this point, biochemists may be a day late for their research in salvation and $1 short in their research in salvation. Happy Apocalypse from your Channel 2 News team. On the third day, our cells have failed to rise again, reflecting the failed symbolism of the resurrection. DNA has ceased to replicate and has disassembled from the double helix structure. Complementary base pairing has failed, additionally impeding the ability for DNA to be transcribed into RNA and RNA translated into proteins. The first species to be wiped from the earth were those with the shortest lifespans and quickest reproductive cycles. Flies ceased to exist before this report was made, but also were all viral and bacterial disease, unable to exist without repropagating themselves. Cancer patients celebrated as their tumors failed to metastasize, and the chronically ill were granted their first reprieve in years. However, minor bumps, bruises, and even very small abrasions have made quick work of our outer layer of skin. This is Channel 2 News once again, now on day 4 of the revelation of the sixth seal. Today, the ice caps, as well as all ice on Earth, began to fall below sea level. Becoming denser and less crystalline without highly organized hydrogen bonding associations, ice no longer continuously melts, ceasing to interface with the sun on a direct level, accumulating ice to the point that top meteorologists speculate that soon most water will be ice, bringing about another ice age. However, because hydrogen bonding has ceased, liquid water heats much more quickly, continuously evaporating and participating in violent thunderstorms. The atmosphere itself has warmed substantially. However, none of these changes could be seen by anyone living near the coasts. As the ice sank, the seas rose and swallowed seaside cities, engulfing them in what has been somberly named the Lake of Fire, where the lightning never stops, though the lightning displays different character, no longer colliding with crystalline ice. Welcome to Channel 2 News, your one and only trusted source for the end of life on Earth. Today, day 5, hospitals were finally overrun. Without the ability to repair and replace cells, any and all injuries have become slow, miserable death sentences. There have been reports that characteristics of dementia have begun to rapidly materialize as neurotransmitters begin to fail to interface with active sites. The babies have ceased to grow, and the elderly have become pseudo-gelatinous surroundings of what little remains of intact bone mass. Human bodies, 60% water, rely on the characteristics of water to help regulate internal body temperature. Now, in addition to hydrogen bonding previously beginning to fail in proteins, phosphodiester bonds are placed at risk of dissociation, with the human body increasing and temperature and pressure very rapidly. The boiling point and melting points of water have decreased, meaning within those that remain conscious, vapor contained within closed bodies has started to accumulate unregulated temperature and pressure, occasionally leading to the terribly unpleasant sight of seeing a once beloved neighbor explode like a pressure cooker bomb. As for those fortunate enough to reside in otherwise thermoregulated safe spaces, such as yours truly, organs and cells have adopted new dead shapes, ceasing metabolism entirely, but reliant on the other dominant forces of chemical bonding, namely covalent, ionic, and van der Waals forces. Computers have attempted to project what shapes macromolecules are turning into, but leading supercomputers seem to indicate that since hydrogen bonding is essentially a function of polarity, i.e., electronegative oxygen creates a partially positive negative dipole in the case of water, ionic bonds and van der Waals forces are questionably impacted by the divine sentence of the sixth seal. Welcome to now, Day 6 with Channel 2 News. Our physical bodies have extinguished, having surrendered to entropic functions of environmental chemistry. Now, in a world with no contained systems or potential for organization, our spirits have ascended to the spiritual plane, awaiting judgment. Certain spirits have speculated that the hellscape of Earth is the final, metaphorical lake of fire, where our astral bodies will be condemned to exist amongst all remaining matter on Earth, never finding equilibrium or chemical peace until the heat death of the universe. Welcome to Channel 2 News, here only to announce that without hydrogen bonding, life, as we know it, in the universe never existed after Judgment Day. Today, known as Day 7 simply because of the poetry of it, God and the universe declared heat death and rest.